Hello everybody, Mike here at Game from Scratch. Today we're going to talk about Gaia, the primordial Greek wait, no, that's not it. We're talking about a Unity plugin called Gaia. And the reason why we're talking about this is just yesterday, if you're watching this channel, I announced the Humble Unity bundle that was up. And one of the things I kind of missed on it was Gaia, frankly. And the Humble bundle right now going on is basically a collection of Unity games and Unity plugins. It's an awesome deal, even if you're not a Unity developer, to be honest, just for the games included, or if you are not a gamer, just for the Unity plugins included, and one of them is Gaia. And a lot of people talked about it. Why didn't I mention it? And the reason I didn't mention it, to be honest, is because these grids kind of didn't line up right, and Gaia was down here at the bottom. So I kind of missed it, to be honest, because that's normally where Humble throws in their throwaway crap. So, my bad. So I decided to check it out in a little bit more detail, and today I'm going to show you Gaia, because frankly Gaia is worth the $15 to get this tier alone. It's a very awesome program, normally $47, and one of the things you find a lot of times with these Humble bundles is the game dev tools come up because they are about to be obsoleted, or because they no longer work in the current version or anything like that. Well, that's not the case in Gaia's version. Gaia works perfectly well in Unity 2018, and we will see it right now. So I was playing around with it yesterday. We're just going to look at the simple aspect of using Gaia. So we're not going to get into a lot of customization. Exactly what does Gaia give you the ability to do? Well, essentially it's a terrain tool and world building tool all in one. So it just makes creating your 3D worlds incredibly easy. So we're going to go through the step-by-step process other than the installation. The installation is pretty straightforward. Create a project, import the assets, import the standard assets, and that's about it. So I've already done that, and now because I have imported it, go here to Window, you will see Gaia is now an option. And all the magic happens in Gaia Manager. So let's show the manager, and it is a simple 1, 2, 3 step process. Now, one thing to be aware of, this guy advertises working with the light and HD pipelines. You can see them right here. You can switch the renderers between lightweight and high def. And it's right, it works with them. The problem is the high def does not work with terrain, and for some reason the lightweight does not render trees right. And that's on Unity, not on Gaia. I imagine in time all of those problems will be fixed, because this basically is piggybacking on the Unity terrain system. So if Unity terrain doesn't work in the HD pipeline, Gaia doesn't work in the HD pipeline. And theoretically, once the HD pipeline supports 3D HD terrain textures, we'll be good to go. All right, that all out of the way, let's get started. So we're going to stick with the built-in renderer. I'm going to go ahead and create a terrain, and this basically creates a bunch of objects for us. So that's going to be a repeated theme. As you use the manager, it will create things for you. The environment that is generating is going to be here, and then the stuff that it creates is under Gaia. So Gaia environment is where the terrain is being created. You'll notice the terrain is just Unity terrain, so you can edit it using the traditional Unity tools. This comes with a bunch of assets already pre-configured for you, like grass, trees, buildings, etc., that you can work with. So we've created our initial terrain object. There's not much going on, and that's why it also created something called a stamper. Now, the stamper allows us to basically set a height map. Let's head on down over here, and we're going to look in the Gaia folder in our assets. We have stamps, and you can basically just pick what kind of world you want to create here. So let's go ahead with let's create valleys. And here you're seeing basically different kind of height maps. Now with the stamper selected again, all you do is pick the one that looks good to you. So for example, let's create a Colorado Valley. Just drag that over here to the stamp preview. And now let's zoom out our world. And there is the example stamp that stamp will create. So this is basically setting the topology or the height of your terrain. And if you don't like that, you switch it out, pick a different one. Hello. Hello. Oh, there we go. So you can basically switch these out until you get something you like. Once you've found a basic template you like, and I actually like the Colorado one they're started with. Now that that's created, once you're good with it, there's a bunch of things you can set here. You can set different height positions, move things around. But I am happy with it. I'm happy where sea level is. I'm happy being shown sea level. And so let's go ahead and stamp. Now you could actually repeat this process and implement a height map on top of your existing height maps with multiple stamps. But now we have our base terrain. Pretty cool. Looks pretty good. All right, so let's move on from here. So next up, we can enhance our terrain. There's a bunch of settings here. Pretty advanced stuff, nothing that we really want to get into. So if we want to set plateaus and peaks or set a maximum height, you can do that using these various different operations that are available here. and the various different sets that are available there. Once you get the set you want, just go ahead and click Perform Operation, and it will do whatever you configured it. We're not going to do enhanced terrain this time. We're going to stick with the default height map it gave us. So next we're going to move over to spawners. So I just created spawners, and you will now notice I have a bunch more spawners. So we started with the stamper. So now we're going to switch over to the texture spawner. This is going to give us our grass and base colors, so snow at certain heights, that kind of stuff. So with that, get rid of this guy right here out of my way. So now you will see this is the texture spawner. And it's got a bunch of pre-configured rules for us, the things that will come in. So it'll create this grass. We can add a new rule. We can remove rules. Going way beyond what I'm going to talk about here. But this basically controls the raw materials used as part of this process. So we have 4 active rules, basically one for sand, one for grass, one for rock, and another one for rock. So that's going to determine the height, the failure, the number, the noise mask, etc. of that particular material when being applied to our world. Mostly what we want to do is once we are happy with our default settings and our rules, etc., we just click spawn, and now this will go ahead and populate our world with a little bit of color. So basically we've got our virtual paint brushes out right now, and you can see the progress bar down here, and pop. So now we have grass and such in our world. Pretty cool. We come out with one other thing to show you, and this is all along. You'll see at the very top here the description. It gives you so allows you to place features into your terrain. Click here to see a tutorial. That exists for all of them. There are a ton of videos showing you how to do everything step by step. So we just created our textures in our world, and go ahead and create some game objects. Same kind of deal. It's got various different spawners. So there's small farms. They're all game objects that have been pre-configured. So rocks, small farms, that kind of stuff. So if I didn't want the farms to be in here, I could just remove that rule out. But again, we'll go with the defaults. We like the defaults that they're giving us in this particular case. It gives pretty good results. So go ahead and click spawn. And here goes our progress. This one can take a little bit longer. You can see our world is being populated with stuff. And we'll give this a bit of time. Actually, you know what? I'll pause. This one can take a bit of time, so I will be back in a second. Okay, back. So it obviously figured that this was our primary area in our world, but let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, there we go. Updated. Are you running on my GPU? It does not feel like this is running on my GPU. 1 second. Okay, much better performance now, so I must have just not had my GPU running. So you can see our world now has rocks at villages, have all been spawned in. So we're just going to keep heading through these spawners. So we'll go back to the Gaia. So that was textures we created, game object spawner we created right here. Let's open that up. Come on. So you see all of the spawned game objects it's created. Now we can go ahead and do trees. So I'm in the clustered tree spawner or the covers tree spawner. And same basic deal. Rules for creating some broadleaf or conifer. Don't know my trees well. But you can just come on in here, click a spawn. Same deal. It just added some fill-in trees, or we can do clustered trees and spawn those out. And there you see our world is now populated with trees. Now, don't get me wrong. This is still just a scene. So if you don't like something, for example, I don't like this tree, I can select and remove this tree. So this is just a scene. All of the stuff being populated is just to save you some time. So now that we've done the trees, let's do coverage detail. As you see here, this is basically your graph, ferns, flowers. And once again, once you like the default rules and settings, just go ahead and populate it. And all right, this one's going to take a second too. We're at 10%. So I will pause while it populates our world with flowers and greenery. And done. So we've just created our basic world. It is now populated. It is looking pretty fly. So I'm kind of impressed with how far we've gotten already. So you see we've got various different objects in our world. All right, we're good to go. Now let's actually go ahead and add some more detail. So we've gone through our spawners, we've instanced all the entities in our world. Now let's go ahead, create player, wind, water, and screen shutter. Now at this point in time, do be aware that in order to create the player, you need to have the standard asset pack installed. You can grab that from the asset store if you don't have it already. That's just from Unity themselves. It's got the first person and third person controller. Speaking of which, if you want to switch the controller it's using, you can do so right here. Also, if you want to switch the train size, you can do so right here. I should have covered that right up front, but hey, I didn't. All right, so now we've created our wind, water, and screen shutter. Let's go to our water. So you see here, we got various different settings for the water. I'm actually pretty okay with the default, so let's go see a look. There we go. So we got water going on down there in our valley now. Pretty nice. That's it. I think using the default water shader, they have one of their own available as well that they like better. So their video tutorial actually covers that process. So there is our water in our world. Wind is now in our world. We can control the wind via the wind zones. There is also should be one more thing I'm missing. What am I missing? Oh, daylight. That is done. We go over, so we've created everything here. We can go into, so with everything we just did here through standard, so it's just a step 1, step 2, step 3. Well, if you want to go through a whole lot more detail, you can actually do it like this, and it'll take you through each individual step with a lot more granularity in your particular options. But same basic end process accomplished. So here we're in the extensions. We're going to go ahead, procedure world, camera and light. And now what we can do is set, we can create camera effects. And what I'm going to actually do is set time of day. So let's say we want it to look like morning. Click here, and it will configure our sun accordingly. If we want it to be evening or afternoon. And yeah, that's kind of the extent of it. Now this again is just giving you a basis to work from. You can still go into the terrain object and use all of the typical sculpting tools. So for example, while I'm here, I can come up here and raise this terrain using standard Unity tools. I can paint the terrain and textures on it. I can add my own trees if I so wished. Am I not in add tree mode? So you can quite easily, and then again, you can also take them away using the same process. So this is just populating a stock world for you. The rest is kind of up to you. But the end results, I have to admit, are quite impressive. One sec, I'll calculate the lighting and then I'll get right back to you. All right, light mapping done. Let's take a look at the results. Bum, bum, bum. Oh. Not mean to do that. Come on. Okay, here we go. I appear to have spawned in the valley. Just a sec, let me just mute the audio so you don't even have to listen to that. So you may notice I am currently underwater. So yeah, that's not ideal. Let's just run up here. Okay, I'm gonna move my camera. I'll be right back. All right, so let's just grab that guy and move him up. Oop, that was not what I wanted. That is what I wanted. And up. And up. And up. Ah, much better. Alright, let's just move this poor bastard over to the shore. A little bit up. Come on. There you go. So that should be a little bit better. Let's go ahead and play our world now. Now that we're not underwater. And dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. I hate waiting. I hate waiting. I hate waiting. Alright. Let's give me. Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. Okay, just a second. I'm going to pause while I get my camera in the right spot, because apparently I just missed. Okay. And success. I am now on the shore and not drowning in the water. Let's go take a look around our world. Where's our sun? There's our sun. Looks pretty solid. Let's go look at our water. Here's some water. Not bad. So you can see, you can create some really impressive results with almost no effort. Like this was less than 10 minutes of work, and we have a populated world to move around in. And you can see here there's a prefab that's been placed as per the rules. And you can obviously create your own. The other nice thing is with your placements, you can actually set masks, so you can only place in certain areas, certain criterias. So I could use a texture channel to, control placement zones for certain objects. And of course, we can set rules for each individual object. We can take these entities out. You notice these are built of multiple things to create these worlds together. But using Gaia, you can obviously prototype or create a level that you can then start tweaking in almost no time. It's a very impressive tool, I've got to say. Let me just exit out. And there's one last thing to show you about Gaia, and that is the extensions. If I go here, just a sec, let's give Unity a minute to get back. So head on over here, you can go to Partners and Extensions, go to Gaia Extensions, and this will bring you to the website, and you will see there are a number of extensions available. So there is their particular water as opposed to the built-in Unity water. Coastal area, stamps, dynamic fog and mists, volumetric fog, mist, wetland stamps, speed tree, desktop ground cover. And you can also write your own extensions if you so wish. And then once again, the same site that we're at right now also has tutorials available. And there are a ton of tutorials to get you up and running using Gaia. I have to say, across the board, Gaia is an impressive package. So if you're on the fence about picking up that Unity bundle, maybe this helps tempt you one way or another. If it's no longer September of 2018 and you missed this, well, I hate to tell you, but you could have bought Gaia for about a fifth of the price and gotten a whole bunch of other really cool stuff thrown in with it. All right, that's it for now. Let me know what you thought about Gaia in the comments down below. Now, I do know one thing that's definitely a negative about a program like this, and you can't really blame a tool for making game development easy, but this does, I guarantee you when you start looking at asset flips on Unity and you start seeing these beautiful landscapes, you'd be like, oh, that was made with Gaia. Yeah, that was made with Gaia. So this definitely is the kind of tool that makes game development, at least getting started, that much easier. And this is kind of where the flood of crap on Steam does come from. But again, you can't blame the tool for that. They just made it easy. The fact that people take advantage of that and sell junk, well, that's because Steam doesn't moderate anything. All right, get off my soapbox. What did you think? So that's Gaia. Are you a Unity developer already using it? Did you pick up that Humble Bundle? Are you going to pick up that Humble Bundle now? Speaking of which, I will, of course, toss the link to that Humble Bundle down below as well. All right, let me know what you think. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.